Today we are going to discuss the remaining part of the first unit, and we will discuss the Stirling heat engine, heat pump and refrigeration, phase change material for energy conversion and steam power cycle. Initially, we are going to start with the Stirling heat engine. The Stirling heat engine the Stirling thought to create a safer alternative to the steam engine because the boilers sometimes exploded due to high steam pressure and limitation of primitive materials available at that time. The essential factor the essential factor of the engine is that it is a closed cycle external combustion engine. It can also work at a low temperature difference as low as 7 degrees Celsius between source and sink. The engine is designed so the working gas is generally compressed in the colder portion of the engine and expanded in the hotter portion, resulting in a net conversion of heat into work. It can use heat from a constant flame and does not depend upon explosion as the internal combustion engine. That's why the engine runs silently. This is the figure for the working principle of Stirling heat engine. The Stirling heat engine relies basically on the property of gases that they expand when heated and contract when cooled. This is Charles' law. If the gas is held in a variable volume container constructed from a movable piston in a cylinder closed at one end, the pressure increases and decreases will cause the piston to move out and in. Repeated cooling and heating will cause a reciprocating movement of the piston, which can be converted to rotary motion using a conventional connecting rod and a crankshaft with a flywheel. A loose fitting piston known as a displacer which moves back and forth inside the cylinder, thus shuttling the gas from one end to other. As the displacer moves the gas leak around the gap between the displacer and the cylinder wall. The displacer produces no power itself and only uses enough energy to circulate the gas within cylinder. Power is extracted from the thermal system by using the volume pressure variation of the gas at the cold end of the cylinder to push a separate power piston back and forth. Now the next topic is heat pump and refrigeration. A heat pump is a device that can provide heating, cooling and sanitary hot water for the residential, commercial and industrial application. It also transforms energy from the air, ground and water to useful heat. This transformation is done via the refrigeration cycle. As you can see in the picture, this is a typical single stage vapor compression refrigeration. In the picture, you can see the evaporator is connected to the compressor and then compressor to the condenser and condenser is connected to the expansion valve. Again, the expansion valve is used to send the liquid plus vapor into the evaporator for the evaporation process. The vapor compression cycle is used in most household refrigerators as well as in the light commercial and industrial refrigeration system. As in figure shows, the components of a typical vapor compression refrigeration system. A circulating working fluid as shown in this figure commonly called refrigerant such as Freon, enters the compressor as a low pressure and low temperature vapor. A circulating working fluid as shown in this figure, commonly called a refrigerant, that enters the compressor as a low pressure and low temperature vapor. The vapor is compressed at constant entropy and exit the compressor as superheated. The superheated vapor travels to the condenser, which first cools and removes the superheat and then condense the vapor into liquid when releasing additional heat at constant pressure and temperature. The liquid refrigerant goes through the expansion valve, also called a throttle valve, where its pressure decreases, causing flash evaporation and auto refrigeration of typically a small portion of the liquid. That results in a mixture of liquid and vapor at lower temperature and pressure. The cold liquid vapor mixture then travels through the evaporator coil or tubes and is completely vaporized by cooling the warm air being blown by a fan across the evaporator coil or tubes. The resulting refrigerant vapor returns to the compressor inlet to complete the thermodynamic cycle. This is the functioning of the heat pump and refrigeration. Now the next chapter is Now the next topic is phase change material for energy conversion. Phase change material is a substance which has ability to store and release large amount of energy in the form of latent heat of fusion. The amount of energy absorbed or released during the process of phase transformation is entirely dependent on the value of material, latent heat of fusion and the mass of material being used. The phase changing material are the material stored or release heat in a very large amount in the form of latent heat that is known as Gupt Ushma in Hindi. The amount of heat that is absorbed or released is equal to m into L, where m is equal to mass and L is the latent heat. The material used for phase changing their latent heat is very large in amount and large heat conductivity. Material to be used for phase change thermal energy storage must have a large latent heat and high conductivity. For example, paraffin waxes, that is known as moam, fatty acid. Fatty acid में capric acid, lauric acid, palmitic acid and stearic acid. And third one is hydrated salt. इसको मैं हिंदी में भी एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूँ. फेज चेंज मटेरियल्स वो मटेरियल हैं जो कि एक बड़ी मात्रा में हीट को स्टोर अथवा रिलीज करते हैं लेटेंट हीट के रूप में. लेटेंट हीट मीन्स गुप्त ऊष्मा. हीट की ये मात्रा जो एब्जॉर्ब अथवा रिलीज होती है वह मटेरियल की लेटेंट हीट या गुप्त ऊष्मा और उसके मास यानी द्रव्यमान पर निर्भर करती है. Q is equal to m into L, where m is equal to mass and L is equal to latent heat. वे मटेरियल जो फेज चेंज मटेरियल के रूप में यूज किए जाते हैं उनकी गुप्त ऊष्मा बहुत अधिक होनी चाहिए, साथ ही साथ उनकी ऊष्मा चालकता भी अच्छी होनी चाहिए. Now the next topic is steam power cycle. As shown in the figure, you can see there are four parts in this figure. A part contains the boiler, turbine, condenser. In B, there is stake fuel and air. And C part is the electric generator, and D part related with the cooling, which which consists the cooling tower. This is the diagram of the vapor power plant. A vapor power plant generate electrical power by using fuel like coal, oil or natural gas. The diagram of a vapor power plant is shown in the figure. The entire power plant can be broken into four subsystems. Number one is subsystem A. This is used for energy conversion from heat to work. Subsystem B. This is used for energy source and waste removal required to vaporize the water. In subsystem C, there is an electric generator used for the generation of electricity, and subsystem D is the cooling water system. The thermodynamic cycle in subsystem A is called the Rankine cycle. Subsystem A consists of a boiler, turbine, condenser, and a pump. Fuel burned, fuel burned in the boiler heats the water to generate superheated steam, that is in subsystem B. This steam is used to run the turbine which powers the generator. Third step will be electrical energy is generated when the generator windings rotate in a strong magnetic field, that is subsystem C. After the steam leaves the turbine, it is cooled to its liquid state in the condenser by transforming heat to the cooling water subsystem, that is subsystem D. The liquid is pressurized by the pump prior to going back to the boiler. In the TS diagram, we can see that 1 to 2 is isentropic comparison in a pump, and 2 to 3 is the constant pressure heat addition in a boiler, 3 to 4 is isentropic expansion in a turbine, and 4 to 1 again constant pressure heat rejection in a condenser. Now we are going to discuss some important definition related with the gas power cycle. Th Thermodynamic cycle is a sequence of series of processes performed on a system that eventually returns the system to its original state. Gas power cycles are thermodynamic cycles which use air as the working fluid. A gas power cycle may consist of heat transfer, work transfer, pressure variation, temperature variations, volume variations, and entropy variations. In a gas power cycle, the source of heat supply and the sink for heat rejection are considered to be external to the working fluid. The first process is isentropic process. In, in thermodynamics, an isentropic process is an idealized thermodynamic process that is both adiabatic and reversible. The work transfer of the system are frictionless and there is no transfer of heat or matter. In this process, there will be no change in entropy. That's why delta S is equal to Q by T. For Q is equal to 0, that is adiabatic process, we have delta S is equal to 0. That's why S remains constant. In TS diagram, you can also see S1 is equal to S2, diagram of an isentropic process, which is a vertical line segment. Example of isentropic processes are pumps, gas compressor, turbines, and nozzles. The next process is isochoric process. An isochoric process, also called constant volume process, an isovolumetric process or an isometric process is a thermodynamic process during which volume of the closed system undergoing such a process remains constant. means V is equal to constant. That's why delta V is equal to 0. So W is equal to P delta V. Here in the picture you can see the PA, PB, A to B. B is the final state and A is the initial state. Isochronic process in the pressure volume diagram. In this diagram, pressure increases but volume remains constant. The example of isochronic process is ideal gas. In ideal gas, every increase in energy is proportional to increase in temperature and pressure. In a rigid container, the temperature and pressure of gas will increase, but volume will remain constant. That's why sometimes explosion can occur in this process because volume is constant. When we increase temperature and pressure, an explosion can occur. Isobaric process. The last one is isobaric process. An isobaric process is the thermodynamic process in which the pressure of the system remains constant. The heat transfer into or out of the system does work but also changes the internal energy of the system. P is equal to constant and this system does work. Q is equal to delta U plus W where W is work, U is internal energy, Q is equal to heat. That's why W is equal to P delta V. In this figure, from process A to B, the yellow area represents the work done.